Greetings, Poke fans! Michael here, and today we got some really awesome new Pokemon Sun and Moon info. I think we were actually supposed to get it tomorrow, so July 1st. I'm filming this on June 30th, but we got it today because it leaked, so was very surprised by it, really excited about it. We got a ton of new Pokemon, but we also got a little bit of more subtle stuff in the trailer that I noticed that may or may not lead to something pretty exciting. So leave a like down below if you're really hyped for Sun and Moon, and helps me out on this video a lot. So let me just dive right in. First I'll talk about the new Pokemon, and then I'll talk about a little theory that I have. So first, the new Pokemon, we got 7 of them, which is quite a lot. I wasn't expecting 7 new Pokemon, so I'm really excited about that. The first one is Tapu Koko, which was mentioned in the E3 whole news business and stuff like that. So Tapu Koko is actually a Pokemon. It is an electric fairy type, and it's the guardian of that island, the starting island. I have forgotten the name, but it's the island guardian. And so because there are 4 islands in Alola, there's 5, but one is man-made, so the man-made one probably does not have a guardian. That means that there's probably 3 other island guardian Pokemon like this one that are similar to it. Maybe they all have like the arms that turn into masks that look like Hawaiian warriors type thing. That's possible. Now, Tapu Koko has a really cool ability, and when it comes in, I've forgotten the name of the ability, but when it comes in, it automatically triggers electric terrain, which the terrains were these new mechanic of moves that were introduced in the 6th generation, and there are 3: electric terrain, grassy terrain, and misty terrain. And because this Pokemon has this ability, it seems possible that the other Island Guardian Pokemon will also have terrain-triggering abilities. Now, like I said, there's only 3: electric, grassy, and misty. And misty is not actually water, like the water-type gym leader, but it's a fairy-type terrain and stuff like that. And since Tapu Koko is electric fairy, I don't think they would make another island guardian that's just pure fairy. I feel like they're all going to be fairy and then another type that's going to change. And so because of that, I think it's possible that we are going to get some new terrain moves, and each of these 4 island guardian Pokemon will automatically trigger some kind of terrain. Some people think that it's going to be a fiery terrain due to like volcanoes and stuff like that. I don't know. But personally, my personal opinion is that Tapu Koko does electric terrain. There's going to be one that has grassy terrain, and then 2 new terrains. Maybe water and fire. I don't know. But it's really cool. I think it looks really awesome. Moving on, the next new Pokemon were Charjabug and Vikavolt, which are not officially confirmed to be the evolutions of Grubbin, but they are the evolutions of Grubbin. It talks about Grubbin liking being bug type and liking electricity. These Pokemon are both bug and electric type, and they have the 2 prongs in the front. They are bug electric type Pokemon, and I really like them. I think Charjabug is kind of cute, kind of looks like a bus, which is a little bit weird, but Vikavolt I think is super awesome. Like, it's so cool looking. I really want to use one in my playthrough because it just looks so awesome. I'm a big fan of these Pokemon. Moving on, the next Pokemon we saw was Drampa, which is literally a combination of dragon and grandpa. As you can tell, it's a old-looking, kind of very not that intimidating dragon Pokemon. I think it's okay. It's not one of my favorites, but I think what I really like is that it's normal and dragon type, which I think is a really interesting typing, and it's never before seen, so I think that's pretty cool. I like seeing new type combinations, and so I like it. It has the ability Frenzy, which raises its special attack when its HP gets low, so that could be pretty valuable in competitive, who knows. The next Pokemon we got was Bruxish, which is kind of ugly, and those lips are not ones I ever want to kiss, but it's not absolutely hideous. I don't feel disgusted by it, but it's just kind of like, eh. And if you look at the fish that it's based on, the mouth makes sense. But it's water psychic type, which is a cool typing. I don't think we've seen that in a while. I might be wrong. Could be a recent water psychic type Pokemon, but I'm not immediately thinking of one. The only ones I'm thinking of are the Slowking line. But its ability is Dazzle, which just stops priority moves. Like priority moves, they don't happen. So if you have a Gale Wings Talonflame up against a Bruxus, you're doomed. So that's a really intense ability. That could start playing a big role in competitive. The next Pokemon we saw was Cutie Fly, which is a Bug and Fairy type. I believe that's a new type combination. I'm not 100% certain, but I believe it is. I think it's really cute. I hope it gets some really cool evolutions that hopefully don't suddenly make it ugly. But I like Cutie Fly. And then we got the Pikachu clone of this generation, Togedemaru. I very well could be butchering that pronunciation. But we know it's the Pikachu clone because it looks like it. It has the cheeks, and it has a name that is not obviously based on a word. Plusle and Minun had like word-based ones, but like Pachirisu and Emolga and Dedenne, I don't actually know what they're based on, what words they're based on, but they're not words that I am familiar with. So that's the Pikachu clone. Looks like I can't put my finger on what animal it is, but it like has its little spikes that come out, which I think is really cool. Could be a hedgehog, could be a porcupine. I'm not really sure. Somebody probably knows more than I do, but I think it's cool. It's electric steel type, so very different electric steel type than the Magnezone line, although still gray and round. And its ability is Lightning Rod. I don't know how helpful that is. Like, who's going to use an electric type move on an electric and steel type Pokemon, but whatever. So, Togedemaru. Yeah, anyways, so those are the 7 new Pokemon. Vikavolt, it could be Vikavolt because Pika is P-I-K-A, but I hope it's not because Vikavolt sounds cooler. Vikavolt is my favorite of the new ones. I don't really hate any of them. Bruxus is kind of ugly, but I don't hate it. But yeah, so those are the 7 new Pokemon. Now, let me move on into my theory that I mentioned in the title of this video. Now, I don't want anybody thinking I'm spreading misleading information. This is not confirmed. This is a theory of mine that I came up with. It's not confirmed. We don't know if it's going to happen, but I want to discuss this theory anyways. My theory is that I think there's a very good chance that we will get at least some of Megas of the following Pokemon. I worded that badly. So out of the list of Pokemon, Flygon, Milotic, Fearow, Dragonite, Pangoro, or Crocodile. I think we're going to get at least some of them as new Mega Evolutions, or that special blue and yellow diamond evolution that we still don't know what it is. I think we're going to get at least some of them as Mega Evolutions in Sun and Moon. Now, why do I think this? Well, all of these Pokemon have appeared in battle in Sun and Moon trailers. Now, if you take those Pokemon and set them to the side, look at all of the other Pokemon that have encountered, that have been in battles in Sun and Moon trailers that are old Pokemon. So not new Pokemon, but old Pokemon. All but one of them. All but one of the fully evolved ones. All but one of the fully evolved old Pokemon have a Mega Evolution. Garchomp, Gengar, Kangaskhan, Metagross, Salamence, and Slowbro all have Mega Evolutions. The only one that doesn't is Emolga. And I personally think Emolga was specifically chosen to battle Togedemaru to kind of show, okay, yeah, this is the Pikachu clone, guys. Like this, it's battling Emolga. Like that's what it's supposed to be. So if we ignore Emolga because it was used for that specific reason, every other old Pokemon we've seen has a Mega Evolution, which I don't think is a coincidence. Like that's like of all the Pokemon you could choose to have Bruxish battle, why Kangaskhan? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's a subtle hint towards the fact that these other Pokemon we've seen could very well get a Mega Evolution. Specifically, in my opinion, most likely Flygon and Milotic, because they were gonna have them in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. You know, you probably know Flygon they planned to give him one, but then they couldn't think of a good design in time. And Milotic, apparently there's a code in the game that had a slot for a Mega item for Wallace that ended up not being used. So I think those two are the most likely, but I also think Fearow, Dragonite, Pangoro, and Crocodile could get Megas as well. And one more piece of evidence for this is that in the XY trailers, several years ago, 3 years ago, oh my gosh, 3 years ago, they showed a lot of Pokemon that ended up getting Mega Evolutions. Either them or their evolutions got Mega Evolutions. Now, not all of the Pokemon they showed in XY trailers got Mega Evolutions, but a decently substantial percentage of them did. So I don't think that should be ignored. So, like I said, this is not confirmed, but I do think there is a very good chance that these Pokemon that we have seen in these trailers that don't already have Megas will get Megas, which is really exciting because I would love to see a Mega Flygon. I've voiced desire for that many times. A Mega Dragonite, I want to see an item Dragonite because I think that's funny. Milotic, yes. Fearow, yes, because I have a shiny Fearow I caught in my Leaf Green. I want to bring it to Sun and Moon and Mega Evolve it. Like, I think it'd be really awesome. So like I said, this is not confirmed, but I think it's a theory that has a good amount of meat to it. I may end up being completely wrong, and if you disagree with me, you can say so down in the comments below, but I think there's a good chance of this. So that is all I have for this video, guys. Just wanted to run you guys through the awesome new Pokemon we got and my theory of, like, maybe, you know, I feel excited because I think there's a good chance we're going to get some new Megas or some new special evolutions for some of these Pokemon. So I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below how hyped you are for the new Pokemon and which of the new Pokemon is your favorite. I'm curious about that. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already. That would help me out a lot. But that is all I have for now. So until next time, Pokefans, gotta catch them all!